This round, as you mentioned, very much underway, and we see the push over towards the A site as quick as possible. We're on radio cast for the time being, but oh look, we're in. There we go. A couple of kills coming out straight away. Jeki and Paz going to be finding their openers, and as the bomb goes down on that A bomb site, we need to see this retake come on through from the Ukrainians.
Yeah, 4-4 where there is no kit available here, and the deep control in towards jungle is not exactly ideal. They're struggling to try and get themselves into this bomb site. Sergej's, they have an isolated duel, and that's going to be enough, but now losing out on his teammate, he has to deal with two really problematic positions because now Sangal could just hide.
Has that range advantage against the Glock, though. If he can take out Major in the process, he's done pretty well, but he's kind of bridged that gap right now, and with time ticking down, he does manage to find him, but all too little, too late. The first round is going to be going over towards Sangal. Exactly what they would have liked, and, well, saving a P250 in good measure as well. The T-side Sensei surviving here, and now almost certainly just going to be a bit of an eco buy-up round. Sangal, they're going to be in a spot to just really put the hurt on their opponents, build up that economy even further, and, well, everyone's buying a rifle. You've got 4 of them picked up now. 2 AKs in round number 2 with a Galil and a Scout just for good measure. Hell, why not? Get yourself a Mat 10 Soulfly. Rush on in.
I feel like this might be the rare instance where we're going to actually have to specify Sangal Sensei and Akuma Sensei.
Maybe.
Just add the, you know, the name of the team just to preface. Which is, it's going to be a hard habit to get into, to be quite honest.
We'll do it.
Yeah, I think it might be a necessity.
I mean, I've of course never messed up a name before in a broadcast. That's never happened to me. Round the corner though, Soulfly. Ooh, check your angles, my friend. Psycho going to be able to come out on top from that engagement. Paz there with the trade, and well, opens up that B bomb site completely. So he gets out of the round, and now Avenging just trying to peek around some corners, hunt down his opponents. Round is borderline all but over at this point. Akuma Sensei on a scout off with his scoped brother on the other side of things, and oh, he does come out on top. The
yeah, they're both
now from Jeki pushing up.
Yeah, they're both senseis. They're both Olbers, so
difficult. Isn't it?
It only adds more to the confusion, really. But yeah, solid round all in all here from Sangal. Just getting caught out by the additional player ladder because one was boosted up, and then I think a second one followed after. I'm not sure if he went off of short to get to that position, but because they'd already dealt with DemQ, they just unaccounted for where Psycho was positioned and didn't expect 2 to be doubled up in the ladder room, but no real issues here. Keeping most of those rifles up. Of course, they lose one, but only really lose out on an SMG alongside it. Sangal off to a pretty solid start all in all. And just to run through the vetoes, because we didn't get a chance to earlier, Akuma, they ban out Ancient, and Sangal ban out Overpass. That is a little bit different from what I was expecting. Actually, not
That's
too different.
statistically their first bans, right?
Yeah. But even with the idea that I don't think Sangal have been actually picking Ancient quite as much as they once were. At the start of the season, we saw them sort of express that they wanted to learn it. In fact, a lot of teams molded some of their early strategies off of Sangal taking that risk. But they've actually banned it first themselves in a couple of series, so
they thought, you know what?
That direction.
We're going to learn this map, and they learnt the map, and they're like, right, now we ban the map, we're not dealing with this. We do not like it, but Akuma's done it for them.
Yeah, but then going into the picks, we had Akuma pick up Mirage, Sangal pick up Inferno, and, you know, these aren't out of the ordinary for either, but then we have Nuke as a decider, where I thought we might have ended up in a situation where, I know, potentially, like, an Inferno would have made it all the way through.
Or Dust 2 as well. I mean, we know that Sangal liked to play that map. Akuma, of course, getting ahead of them and able to ban that one.
I kind of thought Akuma would pick Inferno instead, to be quite honest. Or Sangal would have picked I don't know, maybe a Vertigo or something slightly different. But
well, their normal pick, like at least if we're looking at pure stats here,
Inferno Dust 2.
They would usually go for Inferno Dust 2, wouldn't they? So the fact that they've chose to go for the more, what I would argue is the more utility focused map in Inferno than over Dust 2, which is again stereotypically an Angel, might just play into a fact, and stop me if I'm going too far here. It might just play into a factor of, are they not feeling confident in the individual aim fights against Akuma?
Yeah.
Seeing what they've done in the past.
I could definitely see that as an angle because, yeah, Dust 2 isn't exactly a map that Akuma shy away from either, but they banned it out in the second round, so they didn't want to see it all the way through to the veto the veto period. So yeah, it is a bit strange that Nuke will be our decider, but I guess I'll reserve judgment for when we end up there, if we even get there, because that's the decider map. You know, Mirage Inferno, very normal territories for either of these two teams. But Sangal off to a pretty good start so far. And let's not forget as well that in that CIS RMR where Akuma drew a lot of attention to, and from the wins that they got, you know, one of these wins did come off of a Mirage, where they actually did seem like they were quite prepared for the likes of Na'Vi, Gambit as well.
Yeah, I thought it was Overpass, right? If I'm remembering correctly. It was a while ago now.
Yeah,
I watched it in the game to
see
it. Psycho going to be opened up here. First gun round of the game, and Paz, well, he is going to be able to trade it back very, very quickly. Holding on to the site right now. Jackie waiting for this swing, but Sensei Akuma picks up... Sorry, Akuma Sensei picks up one of his kills. Engine with another trade. Now down to a 3 versus 3 without a full bomb site underneath their control. They're going to begin their rotate towards that B site now, but look at this from DemQ. Between, or behind enemy lines, should I say. Between a rock and a hard place. Does have to fall back after popping the molly and the nade down. That actually forces Sangal's hand here. They are now going to have to commit to this A-bomb site. They're just a little bit cautious that someone could still be holding that apartment's push location. And, well, Sensei, I appreciate your deep hold here. You're miles away from your opponents.
Yeah, if they knew just how far Sangal were actually from the action, how they were setting up for this burst, then Sensei would have moved out of the jungle and could have actually been devastating because they don't have smokes here on this T side. Sangal will spot out the first, but the nade on Sensei could have been a finishing job. Instead, they just spam him out, and that's a nice early pick. Sensei holding the line for the rotation, and DemQ walks right into it.
Up V3 now. It's Sensei from the Akuma side who's going to be looking for the kills. Does miss the initial shot and the second shot on Sangal Sensei. Play the Yorping Sensei. He's on the other team at this point. He does then flick around, find that kill towards CT, and now going to be hunting down for a couple more. Doesn't have a kit. Lightly just looking for exits at this point, allowing Sangal to secure the round, but it's consolation frags. It's hurting your opponent's economy. It's doing as much damage as you can at this point. A fourth round guaranteed here, and, well, saving an AWP into the next. You know what? Kind of favour Akuma with it.
Yeah, not too bad here from Sensei. A pretty passive approach to these past few rounds. I kind of would have liked to see him run over towards that ticket booth just towards the end there, if he could pick up that kit that was dropped by his teammate.
Oh, or that, yeah.
You know, just, you know, see if he can get a little bit of extra funds coming into this round. Of course, saving a kit can be quite valuable. I know there's been recent debates recently about, you know, if you bring a kit into the pistol round, should you just go die instead of saving the kit if everybody on your team has died? It's been a bit of a back and forth. I think some teams and some people certainly see the merit in, you know, bringing a kit into the second round, because you've seen how strong force buys and deagle buys can be, and just how many times those pistols aren't always converted into, a successful sort of 2 or 3 round stint.
Well, off the back of that argument, to be honest with you, if you're in that situation where you have the opportunity to save a kit after buying it in the first round and your team's relatively confident on that, what we've seen kind of the scouts surrounded by deagle buy up that we kind of originated on train and then kind of developed once more teams started to just transition it over and the meta kind of surrounded it. I think if you're comfortable in that position, then do it. But I mean, if you're just going to be going for a bum rush and a stack on a site and hope for the best, then maybe just see what you can find on the contacts.
Yeah, for sure.
All depends on how you want to play it.
Just about denying the bonus money is the big argument, because you get, I think, an extra 250 per player if you win off of the bomb going down and exploding, versus actually just full eliminations. So anyway, this hasn't really gone to plan here for Akuma. It's a speedy play in from Sangal. They make use of that SMG on the side of Soulfly. And while they're setting up for exits here on that CT side, shouldn't be anything too out of the ordinary here. Sangal making sure to clear all the close angles, make sure that they don't get completely contained. But it's another chance where Sensei can keep hold of that AWP. Sangal aren't overstepping in pursuit of that weapon. They can even upgrade away from that SMG because of a teammate that had fallen. So really ideal stuff here for Sangal, because now moving into another gun round, they're not going to have that SMG floating around the pack.
Look at the money as well. It's really starting to stack up. NG on 8k, Sensei on 7.5. Well, sorry, Sangal Sensei on 7.5k. Money in the back pocket. Look, it's going to happen where we're like, oh, what amazing clutch from Sensei, and they both do something at the exact same time, and it's like, well, yes, I see
Well, they
what
can't
you've done
both
there.
clutch. Let's just clear that up. That can't happen.
I don't know. You can clutch individually, bring it down to a 1v1, and it's just them two versus each other. Speaking about going nuts, though, Paz finding 2 kills. Whiffing the jump. Punish there from Sergis. And Soulfly does pick up a kill of his own. And, well, this round's realistically over before it's getting started. And something I'd like to see just a little bit more here, if I'm honest, at all, is Sensei over on Akuma's side doing something. Because he's been so passive with this AWP. And, I mean, I appreciate him doing it in the previous round because it was really the only proper weapon and wanted to give their team a chance in the next round once things started to hit the fan. But in this round, it was a buy-up. You need to be getting aggressive, going for those early picks. Just dedicate yourself to a site and try for the kills.
Yeah, I think we're definitely seeing that Akuma are trying to play things out a lot slower in kind of hopes that Sangal are going to try and run some sneakier strategies, play things a little bit slower in the early round, but these faster plays from Sangal are really what's catching them out. It seems like Akuma are trying to play around what their opponent likes to do on their T side and, you know, implement similarly passive setups themselves. But yeah, I think Sensei and even the likes of, like, Demq, Jeki, these guys do like to kind of get into the face of their opponents every now and again. And at the moment, all we're seeing is one site get run over, and because of the passive holds from Akuma, they're actually just not fast enough to really do anything about it.
Well, they're forcing into this round now. It's a bit of a spreading of funds, ensuring that everyone has some form of stake.
I imagine that this is where we'll see the change. They tried to double up off of short. They tried to get aggressive in that respect, but they weren't prepared for Paz to be in their face so quickly.
Well, here is the aggression. Look at Sensei. He's lurking all the way up mid and minimap and top left. Just trying to get that control from Chair, and, well, I mean, he's got complete mid control at this point. Surely this is setting off alarm bells on the CT side. There's no one here. Clearly, that means, look, they're going to be committed to one of these bomb sites. Make sure you're holding steadfast.
Yeah, Nate already primed here by Demq just in case he hears the steps or Sergei spots them.
There's your steps. There goes the nade. Demq's nade does quite a bit of damage. Oh, the backup nade there as well. Demq converts the initial kill, taking out Soulfly. And are we going to see a few more pushes here? Paz falls through the smoke, and he's going to get punished there. Flick from Sensei, just going to whiff this time round, as he's going to try and get some form of control as the smokes lie. 55 seconds on the clock, plenty of time for them to be able to reevaluate themselves here. But Major, Sensei, Engine, they're all stepping up at this point. 3 people die, they all fall to the wayside. Psycho stuck on the side, they know where you are, buddy. Get out of the server, taken down by Sangal Sensei. 7-0, Yumi. This is commanding. And
that round started out well there for Akuma. They had the grenades ready to go just as soon as Sangal started to throw the executes in. Yeah, they get the initial kills. And then all of a sudden, Sangal just get 3 kills from each player coming into the bomb site. Suddenly, Akuma's initially great hold just breaks down and kind of falls by the wayside. So, yeah, I think it's about time that a pause is called, because they had the right read on the circumstance. They had 3 players in sort of like a quick correspondence over at that B site, only for Sangal to just kind of gather themselves and take it back, which is, yeah, kind of absurd. And this is also another spot where Akuma, because they've been kind of getting rolled over, they have been saving quite a fair few times over, but it's not as though they're going with a particular buying pattern. You know, if everybody's on the same cache continuously, it's so much easier to orchestrate your buys around it. Like, they didn't have Molotovs to stop that rush. They just had those nades to kind of deter or weaken up their opponents. And even still, like, Sangal are able to get enough scaling into the site, even if they are heavily tagged up, because the execute worked well at sort of preventing those two players that are there to sort of support Sergis in that anchor position from actually doing all too much. That's why we saw them actually throw smokes themselves to try and get out of the archways.
And it just didn't work out in their favor. I mean, that was a 4v3, and we see 3 kills orchestrated with borderline just perfection. It was completely synchronized. The judges are giving 10s all round, and then it's like, okay, it's 1v3 now. We just rush him, and we get the round over and done with. It's simple at that point, but yeah, I don't know, a 4v3 situation that you whiff just by what seemed to be positioning? It's difficult to say. This round, is there any stake here for Akuma? Do they just save off the back of this round as well and then go into a complete full buy in round number 9, allowing Sangal to essentially secure the half themselves?
I mean, given the way that
situation,
given the way that they were playing so far, I wouldn't be too surprised to actually see like a hero AWP on Sensei, and then if things go wrong, he just saves. Because that's,
you know, you've made a very fair point.
Yeah, that's how he's been playing it so far out, and you know, if this is a time to try and engage him, this might be a pretty turning moment. But yeah, otherwise we just see, you know, the typical half buy. You know, maybe you let Sangal up to 8 by doing so, but you have a very, very fortified investment into round number 9. And then you don't have that circumstance where, you know a B execute's coming and you don't have a Molotov for it. So
do you think Sensei should be the person who's going for that initial contact instead of, let's say, one of the Deagles that are brought up and then someone just recovering the AWP, seeing if he can, with that hero AWP, find that initial opening frag, even if he's traded? Because he's just not doing anything at this point. He's literally, if something goes wrong on the other side, he goes, right, okay, I'm going to I'm staying on A, and I'm just making sure that we don't lose his AWP. Like, he's seeming like he wants his teammate to make that initial move, and I feel like he needs to take more, just kind of commitment for himself and just say, look, I'm going to go get this initial kill, back me up, and if I die, pick up the AWP, get a couple of trade kills. Even if we lose the round, we've hurt the opponent's economy a little bit. Because at this point, Sensei on Sangal is on 9.2, Engine's on 13, Major's on 8. Like, they're not going to run out of money anytime soon here if they're not just halting their opponent's saves.
Yeah, this is the problem that we're definitely experiencing, is that Sangal aren't really being pressured in the way that they're setting up in these rounds, which is, I mean, you see them go for a full-on B execute where they've just got no map pressure elsewhere, but Akuma aren't doing anything with that open space. It's not as though they've, you know, pushed into Palace or they've gotten aggressive off the top middle. We saw Sensei kind of peer in with the AWP, but actually doesn't get any information from that before it's kind of too late.
He was so deep into mid as well.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, surely you just, like, that's it. I'm moving. I need to go somewhere else and find a kill.
Yeah, and if Sangal were running into a default, that would have actually made a whole lot of sense. You know, he might have been able to spot one player, maybe get a kill, you know, fall back into a bit more of a passive setup afterwards. And it's just another case where it feels like Akuma have gone for an initial bit of aggression and it just hasn't lined up with what Sangal are doing. And this almost comes into that conversation point of, if you don't know what your opponent is doing and you just have a complete misread on what kind of flow they're running on their T side, then you need to kind of probe for that information on all sides of the map, just so you can understand if they're going to come into this game and they've got the preparation on what Sangal like to run, at least in their typical Mirage games, then you want to kind of understand what the flow chart looks like, at least even if it is vague. Like, you're not going to have a complete strat book unless they're playing against the likes of Heroic, maybe. But there's that flow chart of decision making where, you know, if they go B or they go for this A side play, then maybe the next play that they go for is you know, mid control. That can be very easily ascertained from a demo if the circumstances are similar. So yeah, there's a whole number of different ways in which Akuma can try and bring things back into their favor, but at the moment, Sangal are doing a really good job of mixing things up and also just not falling victim to any of these pushes that Akuma have tried to implement. I mean, they've only done it like 2 or 3 times, but each time Sangal have been in like a great spot to punish. Yeah,
the complete other spot. It's been, they go for a push, let's say through mid, like we saw in the previous round number 7, and there's just nobody there. They haven't held someone there just in case the push is there. They've gone, right, we're just going to let you get no information whatsoever. And it's worked out wonders. I'm not too sure if that's playing too much in Sangal's mind or if they're just playing their own game at this point. I mean, it seems like even if they are playing their own game, they're clearly doing well. I mean, a 7-0 scoreline isn't the way that I expected this game to kind of start off with.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone kind of expected it to start off this one-sided. Of course, we're still quite early doors into this best of 3. If this was a best of 1, people might be calling, okay, this is over and done with, but we've still got a few more maps to go. Well, potentially only one more map to go. Could be an early night for us, Yumi. Could be over and done with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, who knows, really. But it seemed like we got hit by a technical timeout. I thought it was going to be a tactical timeout, but Akuma seemed to have run into a couple of technical issues. Maybe it is TeamSpeak issues. I, up until recently, hadn't ever had TeamSpeak issues, but I have had 1 or 2 recently that have emerged. I don't know what it is. Like, I have
To
been
what
playing
extent where you just can't get into TeamSpeak?
No, it's like, sometimes, there's heavy packet loss or, the connection drops or something of the sort. Yeah. And maybe it's because I've been playing more in matchmaking. Maybe it thinks I'm a player because when I was only doing commentary, it never happened. And yet now, yeah, it's happening a bit more. Let's see what Akuma have in store for us because they have gone for the Force. And this is what we want to see from Sensei. Some assertion, some assertion here on the map.
Here from Psycho as well. Look at this push. This is perfect. I mean, Sangal Sensei does get a blind kill, but either way, it's traded straight back. The mid controls worked out wonders. Major's not going to go down without a fight, though. Does manage to pick up a single kill here. Looking for the second on the site. So rotate back over towards Engine. Recovers the bomb. Plenty of opportunity for him to be able to swing on over. And with Akuma Sensei currently nowhere to be seen, mid's completely open for the taking for Sangal at this point. They are going to call the rotate round. They're getting that mid control, getting that connector control as well. And now here comes the slow lurk onto the A site. A minute remaining on the clock. Smoke and flash go in just to be able to block, again, the long angles for the orb. And I'm surprised that Sergis hasn't pulled off the rotate right now. The fact there hasn't been a play on towards B as of yet, surely that just means, look, this isn't going to be a B push.
Yeah, it's only one set of nades is the big thing, and they're waiting to see if there's any sort of sneaky play because there's no gunfire, there's no footsteps being made, and that's the bomb in CT spawn now. Now rotates will come.
Yeah. This could be the first round here for Akuma with only 30 seconds on the clock. Major tagged up to 37 HP, up against a Famous. I mean, not really long for this world, unless he can swing him like that. Molotov going to go down, but not in the spot he would have liked it. That is more like it from Akuma Sensei. 3k in the round with the AWP. And we start seeing that early aggression from him, holding mid and looking for that information. I feel like in that sort of situation, he wasn't just going to, if he didn't see anyone top mid, he wasn't just going to fall back and hide inside a CT like we saw towards the tail end of the round, and like we've seen round and round before that. But instead was going to hunt for some information. Hopefully, we're going to see a little bit more of that from him because you could just see how influential it was once he just picked up even that initial kill.
Yeah. It kind of ground Sangal to a halt, and it prompted more of the Akuma players to get aggressive off of the catwalk as well because it was drawing so much attention because of the gap in the mid-smoke.
Gap returns. Soulflight looking to use that to his advantage this time, though. So Molotov goes down into connector. Nobody home at this point. Major, your gun barrel is peeking out the corner, my friend. You take a solid 3 damage as you're spammed through 2 walls, it would seem. Sergis actually gives away his position there, so maybe not the best of ideas to begin this spam that early on. Sensei does get flashed out.
Based on the spam, I think it was like 1 damage a shot, maybe? So...
It must have been something like that. Shots 1 to 3 missed.
Clearly. MQ has made its way into towards the ladder position. And with that smoke that's down, it will mean that Sangal should be prepared for it.
Are they going to swing this, though? I mean, Paz is checking every angle other than Demq's right now. And when he swings in, doesn't expect the off angle. Just holds him in the corner and does get that pickup. Soulfly is able to trade it back. But second he pushes over to the site, he's shut down as well. Here comes the execute out towards B. Oh. Sangal Sensei coming out on top, showing that he is the rightful holder of that name. And now it's going to be an 8th round guaranteed here for Sangal as Jackie decides, you know what? I'm not trying this one. I'm just going to fall back, save the M4, take it through to the next round because we have no money. Back down on the eco again. He's actually going to be looking to peek onto Engine. And well, every day of the week, it would seem. Engine hits that shot. There's your 8th.
Well, it seems like that issue is kind of struck forth once again, where Sangal does feel like that they've just got so much territory on the map for almost nothing, right? Like, they're sitting next to the short smoke, and, they're not having to worry about connector. I think they throw a smoke towards top connector themselves, but, like, Akuma aren't trying to look for that information. And now, on Deagle buys, I mean, Psycho, yeah, he made the short jump, but he catches some bullets, too.
You can't have everything. Good job. You get the short jump. We don't flame you for that, but then you get filled with some lead.
Yeah, just get bodied afterwards. It's not great.
Exactly. 5v4 in this situation, and, well, Sensei saving here so he can afford an AWP in the next round, most likely. It might even be... no, he'll have enough for armor, so it won't be glass cannon. But that's why he hasn't committed up to the Deagle here like the rest of his team. Are we going to be seeing any deaths on the Sangal side here? I mean, maybe some team deaths as Paz puts a couple of bullets in between his teammates' shoulder blades. Denkyu on the off angle. Sergis finds the opening kill, and wow, okay, the Deagle's doing work here, finding 2 kills to be able to slow the approach on this B site. I think he's going to be holding over towards A, but it's Major and Sensei who are finding the kills on B finally, ensuring that Akuma cannot find much else with these Deagles. Denkyu on the angle, looking for the 1D, gets another one. He's got 5 more bullets in the clip and only 2 more bodies to find. The swing there from Sensei hits absolutely nothing with the AWP shot, but swings him wide with the AK. Jackie finds one off the back of the rotate, but is traded back instantly. You know what? In the overall scheme of things, Akuma can chalk that round up as a win in their books. Not on the server, but
I mean,
in their hearts,
they were kind of just hoping that one of these miracle rounds would strike, because sometimes teams actually feel, I do have this opinion on a couple of teams where, you know, they are almost reliant on force buy wins to have good CT sides sometimes. But yeah, Akuma couldn't quite get it together. But yeah, great recovery there from Sensei. You know, having the AWP, firing off that shot, switching out to the AK, really good job of baiting his opponent out into the open.
Oh, Major. They know you're there, sir.
Yeah, known to go into that spot at least a couple times now, so Al takes a whole lot more than 3 damage.
Oh, wow. Turns his back on Psycho. Flicks the mouse halfway across his keyboard and ends up getting that kill, but... Ooh,
okay, I mean, I don't know what this is about.
What's going on there?
I just don't know what that's about. He seemingly has no idea that they've progressed up middle, but now they're doubled up in the connector, and so things may still be recoverable here for Akuma.
Sensei needs to make sure he hits this shot as he falls off the angle, but hits the flick onto Paz. Initial damage done. Certainly helped him out there. Now on a 2 versus 2, and Sergis, well, he takes Demq's spot inside of that mid control. It's a little bit too late. Sensei going to be the solo holding player on A, and that is uncharacteristic from Sangal. Well, Major, maybe that might be why, on the AWP instead of Sensei. So, does give Sensei the opportunity to be able to recover that AWP. Bomb now going to go down. 30 seconds on the clock, or not. Bomb's not going to go down. He's going to swing it instead, and falls fatal to his opponent.
Great maneuvers there from Akuma Sensei. Not only finding those kills in towards the connector, which were crucial in terms of getting Akuma that chance in the 2v2, but then constantly repositioning and actually playing a couple of these off angles where, you know, it did come into a spot where Major was trying to peek jungle with the AWP, but by virtue of how angles work, the closer you are to it, the more you're exposed and the less you do really see. So, ended up being all too easy there for Sensei. And finally, a breaking point where, you know, Sangal have kind of run out of money. So if Akuma are able to chain rounds together here, this could really go well. And they've gone aggressive over at B, but this is where the A side play for Sangal is so lethal. They spring in, Sensei has to fall back as the rest of the team are looking for a flank.
But I say Akuma were trying something just a little bit new here. Beginning their rotation all the way around towards T-Sport. Major, you can't plant there, sir. I'm going to go down on the site as the smoke covers his digit clicking. And we see the rotate actually looking to come out here for Akuma. MQ's there, does pick up that initial kill onto Major, and, well, all of his trousers firmly around his ankles. Engine holding, Flick not going to be there. Down to 19 HP is Demq in this situation, but still a lot to play with. Sensei, no knife in the back. Sergis just wants to make sure the round can be confirmed. Has so many angles to clear, and he gets sideswiped by both of them. Third round here for Akuma. They're looking to draw as many rounds as possible back underneath their control. 2 rounds left in the half.
Yeah, this is some of that CT side aggression I really thought Akuma would implement earlier in this half, but now in a spot where, yeah, I mean, yeah, it gets there eventually, but now Sangal already up to 9, where sure Akuma could start to bring this half back ever so slightly, but then Sangal, I mean, I don't think their CT side is going to really fall under too much pressure in the same way that I thought their T side would, because Akuma can be such a disruptive team in the same way that a lot of older guard CIS teams used to just be able to get in your face so early. That's what Akuma kind of brought to the table.
What Demq's just done there is what I really hope Sensei would have been doing quite earlier on, is getting that boost and just getting that push and the aggression straight into apps. Even though he doesn't find anything there, he's just making this threat known. It's like, look, I am here with an AWP. Peek me if you dare.
Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're going to be looking for the 1D here. Sensei knows the angle well, but Demq just a little bit of an off angle there. Does catch his opposing AWPer off guard. The hand cannon not going to be able to work out in this round. Paz, oh, sneaky. Psycho knows he's there. That nade, oh, seemed a little bit too calculated. He hasn't been able to find Paz as of yet. Swing going to come out. Sensei holding on top of Ticket. Does take him down. And now with only 3 deagles, I think 1, maybe 2 kills is the best that Sangal's going to be getting here.
I wouldn't even count on that. Really good stuff here in from Akuma. Up against the pistols. Yeah, they do decide to play it a bit safe, but scroll wheel jump. Maybe just a little bit of panic setting in, but easy enough cleanup here from the rest of the Akuma squad. We're seeing some good production out of the likes of Demq as well, another player that people will have their eyes on. You know, I think when we looked at this squad and the success that they found in that CIS RMR, a lot of people were just saying like, oh yeah, the only people I've really heard on this squad is maybe Sensei, who has had the attention of a few higher ups within the CIS region for quite some time because of his potential. But Demq is also a pretty solid rifler, and on the secondary AWP, he's still able to do some decent work.
Looking to make that success show once again in this round as he goes for an aggressive peak. Of
course, the main core of this squad been together for quite some time as well.
Oh, Demq, I feel for you, my friend.
Well, that's the entry fragger brought to 17 HP, so he's not going to feel too great about this one. But another AWP bullet tanked. He'll take that, I suppose, because Engine can quickly trade, and now it's just that AWP of Demq to try and hold on.
Sensei's come for the backup here as well. It's a double AWP hold here. Shot does connect into Paz, only in the leg, though. Still going to be alive with that AK. Very lethal position to be in. Psycho, sure. You were holding literally in a fading smoke. Not a huge fan of that one, but either way, Sensei now on the Sangal side of things, picking up another kill, clearing out the site bit by bit. Akuma Sensei beginning his rotate all the way through short, does hit the jump and allows him to reposition in case there's anyone who wants to try and lurk up mid, but most players have been revealed at this point. Major's the only person they don't have a true bead on, but even then, Jackie is going to be holding and waiting for him as the
wait for the tap of the bomb before Major tries to get this flank going.
Yep. Oh, I don't think Major's going to be moving. Just going to be holding for exits at this point. That confident. I love it.
I mean, he must be. He'll pull the trigger on this soon enough because his teammates are pretty low within the bomb site. He hears the steps. Come on, Major. What are you waiting for? There we go.
He's waiting for the contact to actually get involved. And, well, here's a story that we've seen time and time again. Sensei, last guy alive. AWP in hand. No saving this time, though.
Yeah, Sangal up to double digits, and, well, Akuma have to go for the buy. Good news is for them that Sensei can get his hands back onto that AWP, but, you know, they'll be missing out on a couple bits, which is not exactly ideal. The Demq 0 utility, but has had quite the hot hand, so maybe he doesn't want to fumble nades anyway. What's the approach? Is it more defensive setups? Is it more passive plays? They've gone towards underpass, I believe, on the side of Psycho, so could investigate early on, and the bomb's over that direction. They're looking to crunch.
And he's going to be the first person to reveal. Does pick up that initial kill, and now they know Paz is there, and on the lurk here, Psycho needs to pop out in time, and yeah, caught Paz. Just at the wrong opportunity for him, unfortunately. He was swapping out weapons, and there's your bomb dropped. The entirety of Akuma, bar Jackie, now begin their rotation towards the bomb just to be able to make sure it is defended. In a 4 versus 3, it's looking like a 5th round is on the cards here for Akuma. Borderline miracle for Sangal to be able to retake this. Especially the amount of smokes that are still prime and available here from Akuma, just to be able to slow down that push even further. I think there was a Free Kicks Philip video relatively recently. It was like, how long can you stop people just coming down a single corridor? And it ended up being like, with utility, with certain weapons, like a solid few minutes.
Few minutes? Not like...
I think because he took into consideration that you could just buy negatives as well. So
I see.
And just spam down the corridors to be able to stop anyone from pushing, and ended up being like 3 minutes in total if you expend the entirety of those clips. Well, there is your first half over and done with. It is going to be Akuma finding himself a 5th, and Sangal still on double digits. Who's going to be able to take this second round? We'll have to wait and see. We'll be back after this short break.
Pushing buttons, so it's quick. Push it off and do assist. Oh, y'all think we new to this? Pound for pound, break it down. Watch what we gon' do with this. Teamwork got us fluid with. Make y'all look like switches. Gave it everything when we had nothing. Gave it everything when we had nothing. Holding on by a thread, couldn't grab nothing. Seems we moved on to a better place. Shine away from the shade. But now that we're here, ain't no going back. Never let you double cross them. Moving through the city like it's Gotham. They told me get one, so I got one. Stop saying you're a boss when you now one. You ain't sacrificed, nah, you ain't lost none. All over the gram like you got a bag. You ain't big dog, we ain't hear none of that. I'm in the gym looking like a running back. And you know the flow, got him coming back. Who I was in the past, I'm unattached. Only focus in this moment is bringing the summer back. Oh, respect my grind, elevate souls and I spread good vibes. Young divine, you know I gotta shine. Raise your hands for a good time. Aight.
Vibe until the morning, sleep until the noon. You said that you want it, so I got it for you. Let's all get together and show them how we move. We move, we move.
3, 2,
Bringing
1,
summer to
drop.
you.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, boys and girls, to, of course, the ESEA Premier Season 38. This is our first map of the best of 3 between Sangal and Akuma, and, well, the scoreline kind of tells you everything you need to know. It's 10-5 right now.
Ooh.
Akuma do start to bring it back, and, well, they open up the round with a nice kill onto Paz.
Yeah, you happily take that. P250 brought forward, and so the lethality at distance is always quite nice. And moving forward in towards a ramp, that's where Circuit is lying in wait. So 5-on-3 right off the bat.
Not the spot you want to be in if you're Sangal, but they've got the range advantage. Well, did until Psycho was able to pick up that USPS and puts that range advantage back underneath his territory. Major on the swing, tap down. Is this going to be a clean round? Yes, it is. All 5 players surviving for Akuma. And that, I feel like, is kind of the momentum shift that they've really, really needed. They haven't had a clean round, I don't think, at all.
Yeah, and one of the first times where we actually get to see them, I mean, on the T side, it's always a good first step to take, especially when we're just getting the rumblings of a bit of a comeback from them. So maybe those last few rounds that they got on that CT side is enough of a confidence boost that, you know, this is their map pick. They understand that this is the territory they decided to come into the series with. And so now let's see how assertive they can be on the T side in particular. Sangal have gone for the full save, though, so they want to get rifles out nice and early. Of course, they will be missing out on a lot of utility for that first gun round as a result of that, but especially if Galils are going to be mixed into the buy for Akuma, then, you know, I feel like they're on pretty equal footing.
We were talking in the pre-game about the fact that the map like Dust 2 got banned out because potentially Sangal weren't overly confident in the individual Angels against Akuma, but this sort of buy, this sort of lack of buy, should I say, kind of tells me otherwise. They've had a pretty decent start to this game so far. They're confident they're not going to need too much util in this next round. They are just going to be able to take their opponents when it comes down to rifles. And, well, Selfly is going to be able to find himself one of those a little bit a round earlier than he would have initially thought. He is going to go for the swing there on Jeki, but it's not going to work out in his favour. The AK coming out on top, Major on the off angle, spots out the head, spams him down. He's doing damage at this point. I mean, it might just be consolation frags, but it also hurts the T-side economy quite a lot. Jumping spam here from the MAC-10, and, well, what would you expect? Nothing less, I would say, from that weapon. Akuma up to a 9th, but this is the round where Sangal are going to be able to clap back, if at all.
We'll get that AWP out, something that the Akuma side cannot afford. Had
The old
they
glass cannon.
saved, it would have been nice. You know, they could have bought into the SMG on the side of the AWPer and then tried to run him in instead. But not to be. So they'll see if they can pace things quite quickly with a fast A exec. And Soulfly, pretty timely smoke all in all, because I think Akuma were looking to go within the 1 minute 40 mark. And here the smokes come through, so they're going to try and run through that ramp smoke.
Oh, wow. That's so unfortunate there from Sangal Sensei. Does get taken down. Soulfly with a pickup of his own after getting traded. Paz with the retaliation just before that smoke lands. Major going to be waiting for this lurk through connector, which is still yet to come. And the site's completely lost. This flick up here from Jeki as well. He's pushed up into enemy territory. Still able to find that kill. Does get taken down to 16 HP. This retake is doable with Major with the nade as well. He can bring this down to a 2v2. I think he now saves. Never mind.
Yeah.
I take it all back.
Yeah, Paz needed to find that kill if they wanted to go for this, because they would have understood that Jeki was quite low as well, even if he is on that AWP. Yeah, quite a pacey round there from Akuma, and kind of setting up in similar ways that we saw Sangal on their T side, you know, going for some of these straight executes where there is a lack of map pressure elsewhere, but because they went so early, I mean, there's no real chance for Sangal to maybe go for something like a B push, or maybe get aggressive over towards mid, to have that information to work off of, and they kind of just springboard. I'm kind of surprised that with Soulfly smoke going down and then them seeing the A execute come back, that they weren't able to really do anything about it. But that kind of goes back to that point about buying in the third round coming into your CT side, is that if you do save the second round, you are missing out on things like Molotovs. You are missing out on things like kits as well, because if you, I mean, that's why people usually go for the force buy in that second round, so that you can get that really strengthened first full gun round.
Yeah. A lot of commitment to UCL inside of mid right now. Flash, some smokes as well. Paz holding the angle, and he does find Sergers in the head there. Taken out of the round, and Sensei does recover that AK though, making sure that no one can lurk up anytime soon, and out the map with you go. Still retrievable, of course. They want to commit 2 players there to go for the boost, but I don't think that's even in Sangal's mind at this point. Bit of a push here from the CT side over towards A as well. Just trying to wait to see if anyone is going to encroach from their territory, which is still yet to happen. But Sensei could fall fatal to that in a few moments' time if he continues with his push.
A distinct lack of information about the rest of the Sangal squad.
Dangerous.
Yeah, with Soulfly on the off angle, as soon as he takes first contact, Sensei's going to peek on out alongside him. They've even called for Major with that rifle to come on by. Paz getting no information in towards middle. I mean, they'll get early indications here, because I don't think Akuma are just going to contact up the ramp. I wonder if see a smoke or two.
I wonder if Sangal Sensei's going to be the first person that they actually spot. I wonder if he's the contact player at this point. And then, yeah, he is. Soulfly's going to be holding the off angle, and he's going to be able to find that initial kill due to that little flick there from Sensei. Quick scope coming back into CS, it would seem. Upgrades himself to the AK for the close range engagement. Around the corner, there's going to be your fellow Sensei.
Look at Paz in the back line, so it comes down to these last 2 players, and while they might deal with Major on the bomb site, they have to worry about the behind so quickly.
15 seconds. Time ticking down. Oh, he's on the side.
Oh my!
Oh, round's over. Surely he doesn't get the bomb down at this point. 7 seconds on the clock. He can tick it away, but they're just going to be pushing him. There's an AK behind you. There's a Deagle in front of you. You're down to 39 HP. Looked like he went for the jump on top of the boxes there on default, but it just wasn't to be. Engine finds the kill. And while you were talking about the miracle rounds, off the back of essentially nothing, I mean, there was what? 4 Deagles and a USPS in that round, and it came out on top. Came out their way. They've saved themselves an AWP and an AK. Sangal, I don't think, could have asked for more in that point.
Yeah, and the whole reason that Akuma go back towards that A play, it comes back down to the fact that Paz got that kill through the top mid smoke with the Deagle. So, you know, quite virtuous there from Sangal, but they were able to sort of go for these bait and switch plays over towards ramp that really drew a lot of attention there from Akuma. And because there was a lapse of presence in mid control as well, then the idea of a flank was always going to be realized. So yeah, really great call there from Sangal all in all, and making sure that they don't overstep just because they get a kind of a wild first kill. but it kind of funnels Akuma right into this trap that they had laid on A. They even had to molly themselves out of going to the A play because they were so concerned about the ramp pressure. So, you're not exactly
slows down a little bit though in this round. Not seeing those quick initial peaks that we're used to seeing. It's more methodical with the smokes going down. Major, bit of an off angle here, using the smoke to his advantage. And well, he comes out on top against Psycho. Does fall himself back, but oh, that was awkward. There's no backup as well. Engine was holding back towards bench and he doesn't swing.
Yeah, he was spotted.
Wow, there you go. Yep, gets spotted out, gets tagged down, out of the round. Has awkward spot, but never mind, I take it back. There goes your bomb planter. There goes your backup as well. Going to be looking for the 2 final kills. Akuma Sensei has himself an AWP, so it's going to be on his shoulders to be able to do most of the heavy lifting, but Sergis does try to get a kill inside a mid. Pop flash goes up. Soulfly down onto 9 HP. I wonder if that's been communicated, though. Sensei, need to make sure you're hitting your shots here, and oh, he has no idea.
Oh my God.
You can't be missing shots like that. Akuma Sensei comes out on top. AWP versus AWP battle on the site. Now, who comes out in the better? And it's going to be Sangal Sensei himself. 12-8. Now, just 4 rounds for Sangal. Their economy's starting to build.
Oh, that is so Counter-Strike. Paz comes in on the rotation over towards B, gets the 2 kills that he needs to in the snappiest fashion imaginable, and then he gets the freest kill ever, and it's, you know, it's a miss. So never seen a more Counter-Strike round. Happens to the best of us. Sergis actually runs back into the Molotov, but didn't want to get trapped over towards the apartments just in case Sangal were going for some control over it. That smoke's not quite gone where Engine had hoped. Massive gap in it.
Out of midair.
Yeah, that's... I mean, that comes back to that whole conversation about, you know, smokes extinguishing Molotovs, and then we had that issue before where sometimes it would just bounce through Molotovs when it was supposed to extinguish it.
Oh, that was fun.
If a Molotov is seen as burning, it magnetizes smokes to the ground. That's the way it's all coded.
If Molotov burn and smoke engage, extinguish.
Yeah, like if they're on the same x-axis or something, it's just like, boop. Really took his time with that one.
Okay? Paz was like, are you okay? Yeah, cool, I'm gonna get you, and re-peek, and gotta get MQ in the process as well.
Making sure he got the easy one this time around as well, so...
Oh, of course. Engine lining up to there as Sergis' legs are spotted on the bench, looking to make sure he can sit down in a couple moments' time, but Psycho makes Engine lay on the stairs. Not the most comfortable position to be laying down, but I think when you're pushing 6 feet under, it's not really the thing that's in the back of your mind.
Well, desperation play, 2v3, and sure with this rifle, they're trying to get something going, but you see Soulfly is considering that factor. Also desperate play they can go for. Wrapping CT. So that's why he's just staring towards the position. Akuma pretty far behind once again. Sangal begin to separate, and I mean, pretty close to being able to close this one out. Akuma, if they don't win this buy, you know, Sangal will be up to 14, projected 15 as a result of the economy shift, as Akuma wouldn't be able to afford up a continuous buy the subsequent round. And so this time, I imagine the pause is tactical. I know I was corrected last time, and it turned out to be a long tech, but...
It is indeed a tactical. We are finally seeing one from Akuma. Seems like all the ones prior to this have been... technical, unfortunately. Freeze time cancelled out as we begin moving into round number 7 of our second half. Sangal edging themselves closer to this first map victory, and I mean, they've certainly got the momentum at this point. And the util this time to be able to defend the A side properly.
Yeah.
Ooh, that flash. Ooh, it worked out well, but Paz only converts 1 kill. Serg is there, straight up Major as well. Ugh.
Awkward peek from Major. I mean,
certainly.
The player wasn't even on his screen, really, and he's trying to pre-fire around the corner. So, Sangal 3-on-4 off the bat, and they are fairly spread out. That's why Soulfly's gotten aggressive in towards Palace. I love that he's taken the initiative as well. He's definitely the player that I have the most under the microscope. And he's been doing a great job, you know, playing that entry role and now gathering information for Sangal to try and bring things back.
Nice repeat there from Engine.
And so suddenly 3-on-3, and where do Akuma go? I mean, with Engine getting aggro off of short, they may want to try and line up a trade, but even that's quite risky because Akuma themselves aren't congregated. They haven't set all of their forces one direction, so trade potential is going to be a little bit of a hard one.
Oh, this is going to be awkward. Engine falls off the angle though, so Jackie is going to be able to get full connector control.
But they're just leaving Engine in charge of B, and with Soulfly's advanced position, he's hearing these steps onto ramp, and he's saying, guys, I mean, I hear one over at A, you might want to get in position, and Sensei's already in a spot to support.
The thing is, MQ is making so much noise, should I say, that it seemed like it was intentional, potentially trying to force out a bait. But of course, the second those two Molotovs rain in, it's like, okay, so this isn't a bait. He's just trying to think it's a bait, but it's not actually a bait. Speaking about Soulfly, he gets the information initially and now gets himself the kill. Sight has been lost by the T's, and they've just all fallen back. They've just allowed their opponents to get full control here. DemQ, after making all that noise, is now incredibly quiet when it matters. Wouldn't be surprised if he falls all the way back here, but instead he's just going to hold the angle and wait for the peak. Yeah, you know what? Soulfly, I think he deserves those couple of extra bullets post-mortem. 14-8 now, Yumi. Closing down this first map.
Yeah, just to sort of pick up on the point to sort of build on it as well. You know, all that information that's being given up as a result of steps being made towards ramp, that's a double-edged sword because in one instance, sure, you're giving up information to your opponents, but it's trying to prompt a reaction and kind of force them into fights with those connector players. So yeah, it's quite interesting that Akuma tried to do something like that and they didn't take the bait. Ooh. Over towards B, it's a much faster play, but so much damage exchanged. Look how tagged up they are by the utility. Jackie has to move through flames, but it's cut short. So 4-on-4 where Akuma are quite low, and they don't exactly have the best of buys. They've used all of their utility committing to that, and they've now only got that one Molotov in Jackie's hands, which may not last for that much longer. One tag is all it takes.
I'm glad that they've kept the momentum here, though. The fact that they've lost a player, and it's like, right, we were going to rush on B. Okay, that hasn't worked out. Now we're going to rush on A. And yeah, with a single molly, I don't think it's happening. 2 AKs, a Galil, a Deagle. DemQ needs to be the first person to peek here, unless they give the Deagle over to Jackie and then he swings first, considering he's low HP and he just gets traded. But at this point, they're playing Jackie, the low HP player, on ramp. Seems like he's just holding for contacts. And we're seeing Akuma now wrapping inside, well, towards Palace. And usually you'll be saying, yeah, Sergey's saying, I don't like this. Let's not do this.
Give me the heebie-jeebies.
That's worrying. Soulfly's still the only person on the A site right now, though, and I don't like this. This is probably going to play into Akuma's advantage right now. Hasn't revealed himself yet, and well, when he does, he gets bodied completely by Sensei. Bomb now going to go down in a 4 versus 3 situation, which seems like it was Sangal's to win. It all comes down to the poor positioning of the CTs. They wasn't expecting this re-rotate towards A, it would seem, but there was no further contact to B. Surely they should have read that.
Well, now they'll have to recover the round, otherwise this just falls into Akuma's favor. Their money is in a spot where they could actually argue for it, but yeah, just losing too much ground too early, and maybe even realizing that part of that comes down to the lapse in their setup over on the defensive end, because giving those isolated fights, especially when we can obviously see that they have no utility to try to work off of a re-execution, because we could have certainly seen them go for a re-execution over towards B. It is a hard place to push when you know that T's were there moments ago, because they could have just been holding for someone to jump up into the apartments. But yeah, not playing within the bomb sites, or, you know, focusing on trying to get someone towards top mid control or something like that for Sangal does leave them kind of blind, where, yeah, all Soulfly could do was kind of jump spot, and then when he took the fight, there was just too many targets.
Spoilt for choice. Who do I want to kill? You? Oh, never mind.
Except they all shoot back at you, so, I mean...
Exactly.
It's not exactly like we're working with one of those toy crane machines.
I was thinking more, do you know the goldfish, and you throw darts towards them at fairgrounds? It's like, I get this goldfish.
Oh
so I get to pick one of you, pick one of me. You don't throw it at the goldfish, mind you.
Fake goldfish, right?
Have you never been to a fairground?
I mean, not throwing darts at goldfish, no. I can't say that I've participated in that particular activity.
You get like a little, maybe this is a southeast thing, but you get like a little bag that has a goldfish in, and when you throw the darts, it's like, oh, okay, I like got near this goldfish. It's my goldfish now.
Oh.
Either way, Sensei going to be coming out on top for Sangal. Finds that kill on Akuma Sensei. Orphe's going to be recovered with the Galil dropped.
I have to know, are they within like dart throwing territory, these goldfish?
You're not meant to hit the goldfish.
I know you're not meant to, but can they be hit?
It's a very good question.
I feel like at some point or another, a goldfish has been harmed in the making of this fairground booth.
I would argue it's almost certainly happened. At some point in history, someone has hit a goldfish with a dart. Poor goldfish. Either way, flash goes up. Soulfly there to be able to take down 2. Great stray control to be able to take down both Circus and Demq in the process.
Flanks quick
and now
as well,
it's just
so...
going to be, yeah, the...
oh my
rotate isn't
god.
going to be enough. There's a knife kill. Oh, love it. Magnifique. There from Engine. Go on, get another one. He's only inside the mid. Just hunt him down. Everyone run at him with knives. You don't pay that much money for a knife not to use it. No time for it, though. I'm not going to have time to be able to get towards him. I'm quite sad now. Oh, well. We've seen one. I'll give him that. 5 people surviving, though. That is perfect for Sangal.
Yeah, it felt like they were just holding for Sangal to make a push, and it never came. So then, by the time they set up for the execute, you know, it grinds to a clock spot where Sangal are like, yeah, you know, actually, let's look for some information. And then they see all these nades come over A, and then the flanks there. Not to mention the flash timing there for Soulfly was absolutely perfect.
It was. I said spray control. It was barely spray control. He was just finishing pulling the trigger. So, a spare bullet fires his way. And Paz gets the same thing. They both just line up for him. He finds himself 2 kills. Akuma Sensei finds 1, getting traded back straight away by Sangal Sensei. Picks up 2 more, and now, just with Psycho left alive, someone's already left the server for Akuma. They're over and done with. They just want, look, we'll go next. Our map has not gone our way. It's the CIS way to win your opponent's map, it would seem, and then potentially lose yours. We'll wait and see on the second, but Soulfly is hunting down for this final kill. Watch Psycho clutch this 1v3 now. Or not. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, could
Possible.
certainly.
They're saying, quick, join the server. Get back in.
Yeah, the disrespect. Someone get the Reddit thread going.
Surely Sangal Sensei hits the shot there, right? I mean, he hasn't peeked it. Bomb's been recovered. 50 seconds. There's time to rotate to B. There's loads of time at this point. Or is he just going to go for the... Oh, look, he's